Welcome back to the Anfield Exchange, and it's the news we've all been waiting for. Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted Virgil van Dijk and Mohammed Salah are this close to extending the contracts at Liverpool. Like I say, it's news we've all been waiting for. We're expecting announcements in the next few days. I think it's going to be positive news for Liverpool fans, for the club itself. And I think we're going to see results of that on the pitch as well. I think it's going to have a positive impact on the team, a positive impact on the fans. I think we're going to see them being more vocal in the games coming up once that has been announced. Like I say, it's been a stressful 7 or 8 months. I know I've certainly been talking about it since October. We were expecting announcements in October, obviously, before you hit the January, where we can talk to people. I think it's clear now to see that Mohammed Salah and Virgil van Dijk have always been clear on their intentions to stay. So potentially there wasn't that pressure on getting the deals done for those two if everybody wanted the same outcome. Obviously, different story with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think we're going to be looking at 2-year deals for both, for Salah and Van Dijk. We are going to be seeing a reduction in salary, but that will probably be made up for in bonuses. So we'll see enhanced bonuses, which I actually think it's a really clever move from Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool didn't want to commit to 3-4 years because naturally players decline once you get older. So I think with enhancement in bonuses for Salah, players like Salah, it's going to be goals, assists. If Salah can keep the numbers up that he's been producing this season, well, for the last sort of 8-9 years at Liverpool, if he can maintain those numbers, I think what we're potentially looking at is a Mohammed Salah that will be probably earning more money than what he's on now. I think it's a safety net for Liverpool. So if he's not producing those numbers, which could be a possibility, we don't know. As things stand, Mo Salah, look, he's been our key player this year. I don't see any reason for that changing next year, potentially, unless we bring Isak in. But as long as he can maintain that, I think in terms of salary, he'll be happy. Liverpool will be happy because, like I say, it's just a security net in case there is a drop-off. And same with Van Dijk as well. You'll be looking at clean sheets, things like that. Performance-based bonuses, really. I think this news is potentially the difference going into next season between challenging for the top 4 and challenging for the title. The reason I say that, I think obviously we're a better team with Mo Salah and Van Dijk in the team. We knew we were going to have a busy summer in terms of transfers. We'll have to wait and see who we bring in, but there's numerous positions where we need to upgrade what we've currently got. Just quickly going through that, we're looking at Trent Alexander-Arnold. Obviously, he's going to be leaving, so potentially need a right back, a left back. For me, we probably need another centre back as well. A midfielder. I'm not sure how Arne Slot's going to view this, but my view on it is we need a more creative midfielder. I think he's probably looking more along the lines of a Zubimendi type, so we'll see how that pans out. Certainly another striker and potentially another winger, depending on what happens with Luis Diaz. So already it was going to be a busy transfer window. We're going to bring in some very good players, I believe, and this news that Salah and Van Dijk are staying, it just gives us a better chance of winning the title. Their experience, they've done it before. If we do go on to win this will be the second Premier League title that they've both won. They're both leaders. And what I actually think we're looking at, I think we're potentially looking at Liverpool's future captain and vice-captain. I think Mo Salah will get that role with Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving, which again, I think is brilliant news. I think it's something that mentally could take Mo Salah's game to the next level. We've seen what Van Dijk has done. Van Dijk, as brilliant as ever, he is a Rolls Royce. Boy, the last 2 games, I have no worries. I think that's just a blip. Again, mentally being that far ahead of your title rivals, I think you can get a little bit complacent, but I have no doubts that Van Dijk is still the phenomenal defender that he is. And same with Salah, really. He has redefined his game. He's not the type of player who's going to run at defenders and take defenders on all game. I think he's redefined it. He drops deeper. He picks the ball up and he's he tries to be as creative now with his assists and with what he can offer the team that way. Like I mentioned, it does make the summer easier. We're not having to make as big of a rebuild. I don't want to use that word because we're not in a rebuild, but we have got a lot of areas that we do need to manage. I think in terms of the transfer window, I think it enables Liverpool now to start making moves and start having conversations with clubs. Again, the reason I say that is because we know exactly what we're looking for now. There was always that, aren't we keeping Salah and Van Dijk? We could potentially need to replace in those positions. So there was a bit of uncertainty as to what positions we were actually prioritising. Whereas now, with these two signing these extensions, we know exactly what we need going into the summer. So I think our transfer window, personally, will start now. It will all take place behind closed doors. So we're not going to find anything out in public because that's not the way Liverpool work. But definitely we'll be starting to have those conversations now with other clubs regarding their players. What does this mean for Alexander Isak? Obviously, we've been linked with Isak. Newcastle look like they're doing well. They could potentially... Well, it looks like Newcastle will be in the running for Champions League football. If they get that, will we need to sell Isak? Will we want to weaken? I wouldn't have thought so. So it might be tricky to get Isak. I'm not sure Isak's going to move in this window, if I'm completely honest, in the summer. I think we'll be looking at somebody like Hugo Ekitike. But again, that's something for us to find out. I do think if we were to bring Isak in, I think that would be a massive, massive statement of intent for next season. I think Isak would be... Now we know that Mo's staying, I think Isak is a perfect striker for Mo Salah as well, because he can get in behind, he can pick up clever positions, he's a great finisher, and I think Mo Salah's numbers could go up with Isak in the team, because Mo Salah is brilliant at playing those balls in behind defenders. We've seen it time and time again this season, and last season as well to a degree. I'm not sure we will get Isak. I'm not even sure he'll move, depending on if Newcastle get Champions League football. If he doesn't, then it's a whole... If he don't, it's a whole nother conversation, to be honest. And looking deeper into this contract, certainly for Mo Salah, obviously there's been a little bit of worry over the last few months. Will he be staying? Will he not be staying? He's 33 now. By the time this contract's up, he'll be 35. Normally, you wouldn't offer a 35-year-old a contract. The way he's been playing recently, and the numbers that he's putting up. 2 years' time, I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are. I think he's about 80 goals behind Alan Shearer in terms of the all-time Premier League top goal scorer. It's a long way to go, and it's a long ask for somebody approaching his mid-30s. But if Mo Salah keeps putting the numbers up that he's put up this season, Mo Salah could be within 20 and 30 goals of Alan Shearer's record. Now, I don't see any way that if he is around there, I don't see any way Liverpool don't offer him another contract. Again, another 2 years. He looks like he keeps himself in shape. He looks like a player that can probably play till 38, 39. Whether that be in the top European leagues, I'm not sure. He might look at taking the route that sort of Cristiano Ronaldo did. But I don't think he will be far off the top Premier League goal scorer of all time. It all depends what happens over the next 2 years, I think. So, again, potentially this just buys Mo Salah time to potentially get a new contract in 2 years' time, which, look, from what I'm seeing from Salah at the minute, I would love that. I would love Salah to still be here for another 4, 5, 6 years. We just have to monitor what the inevitable drop-off will be and how that affects the team. Obviously, he's not running as much, and we've got Szoboszlai covering a lot of his sort of backtracking this year. We'll obviously keep an eye on that, but yeah, I mean, if it means Mo Salah getting another contract in 2 years' time, I think this is brilliant news for Liverpool fans. It's brilliant for the club. It's brilliant for Mo and Van Dijk as well. I think they will also be happy with this situation. They've made it perfectly clear that they didn't want to leave. And yeah, we'll just have to see how it pans out. I think what it does do for Liverpool, the last 4 or 5 weeks, has been a little bit negative in terms of the performances on field. Obviously, we got beat from PSG. We got beat in the cup final by Newcastle. We went on and beat Everton, but then at the weekend we got beat off Fulham as well. So there's a little bit of negativity around the club at a minute. I've put a little bit of negativity out there as well. We've looked a little bit tired, a little bit leggy. I've made that clear. I think this sort of news could be the sort of news that propels our performances back to what they were. Again, we'll have to wait and see. I personally think the sooner these are 100% official and we see Mo Salah on a sun lounger with his top off saying 2 more years, I think this is brilliant news, and it really could impact the remainder of this season as well. So I think that's vital as well to point out. Next season, we've got Konate expiring. I believe there's conversations being had there. I don't think that will cause us any issues. He's currently on 80 grand a week. I think he's looking for more around 200 grand a week. So I think we probably end up settling somewhere around 150, 160 for him, and I think he'd be happy with that as well. So that's once the Salah, once the Van Dijk situation's resolved, once the summer transfer window's over, and we've brought in who we need to bring in. I think that needs to be Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards' first concern going into next season. Is get that Konate deal signed up, because we don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we have found ourselves with Trent, Salah and Van Dijk this year. It's been too stressful. It has impacted. It has impacted some performances. I look back at the Trent Alexander-Arnold performance against Man United. At the time, I put it down as a one-off, but I think looking back now, I think he would probably have Real Madrid in his head. And I actually think it's a good thing that he's injured for a majority of the season, because I think he would be back there with that Real Madrid thought in his head, especially with it now looking confirmed that he's going on to Real Madrid. We don't know what reception he'd get by the fans. But yeah, look, we are going to win the league this year. I'm confident about that. And overall, the future for Liverpool looks bright. We've tied our 2 best players down. We've got some good young players in the squad. We're getting better every season. Obviously, the likes of Szoboszlai, McAllister and Gravenberch, they've all come in recently in the last few years, and it's another season under their belt. They're going to develop. Hopefully, we can see a bit more from Szoboszlai next season in terms of on the ball as opposed to off the ball, because we can't have any complaints regarding Szoboszlai off the ball. But yeah, the future is bright for Liverpool. Hopefully, we will start to see that in the performances against West Ham, against Leicester over the next couple of weeks. What can I say? Mohammed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, still Liverpool players. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.